My name is Dorothy, and I am 76 years old. Listen carefully. If I could give you back all the time you are about to waste after 50, I would, but I cannot. What I can tell you is this: almost everything you are chasing right now will quietly stop mattering much sooner than you think. And it is not about regret. You see, it is about clarity. And clarity is one of the few gifts age gives us for free, if we are willing to look honestly at where our energy actually goes. And if you stay with me, I will show you exactly where most people waste the second half of their lives and what finally matters instead. Here are 7 things that, in my opinion, are a complete waste of time after 50. And the 7th one is the hardest to accept because it feels reasonable until it costs you years. And what is worth focusing on instead? If any of this speaks to you, let me know in the comments. I read every single one. 1. Competing with other people. Most of us were raised in competition mode. Grades, careers, promotions, money, everything was a scoreboard. But around 50, if you are still doing this, you realize you are not even in the same race anymore. You are just running circles in place, trying to prove something no one is keeping track of. Comparing yourself to others is a waste of time because everyone is playing a different game. You see someone your age who just got promoted, bought a bigger house, or seems to have the perfect retirement plan, and suddenly you feel behind. But you do not even want what they have. What can you focus on instead? Compete with your past self. Measure progress by how aligned your life feels with what matters to you, not by how impressive it looks to others. And if you are more grounded, more at peace, and more yourself now than you were 5 years ago, congratulations. You are winning in ways most people will never understand. If this is already making you think, go ahead and follow the channel. There is more where this came from. 2. Tying your identity to your career. This one hits hard, and even if you have resisted doing it, society tries to impose it on you. For years, your job title was shorthand for who you were, your worth, your purpose, your status. Maybe you introduced yourself by your job title for 30 years. Now you are retired or considering a change, or you have just outgrown that mindset, and you do not know what to say when someone asks. So what do? Eventually, that attachment becomes a trap. If your entire identity depends on what you do, then what happens when that chapter ends? Who are you then? Your career can be meaningful, but it is not the whole story. What can you focus on instead? Challenge the belief that we need to label ourselves to matter. Focus on who you are when you are not working. Reinvest in curiosity, creativity, and contribution. The things that make you feel alive even when no one is paying you for them. And to me, the second chapter of life is not about climbing higher. It is about going deeper. 3. Forcing yourself to finish things that are not serving you. We were raised to believe that quitting is failure. Finish what you start. Do not be a quitter. Push through. So we force ourselves through books we are not enjoying, shows that lost us 3 episodes ago, projects that stopped mattering halfway through, hobbies we convince ourselves we should love, but never actually did. And here is what happens. You waste hours, sometimes months or longer, on things that add nothing to your life, just so you can say you finished. After 50, you start realizing your time is finite, really finite. And spending it on mediocre experiences just to avoid the label of quitter is one of the worst trades you can make. What can you focus on instead? Give yourself permission to stop. Redirect that time and energy toward things that actually engage you, challenge you, or bring you joy. Life is too short to suffer through things that do not matter just because you started them. Finishing something mediocre does not make you disciplined. It just makes you stubborn. Your time is the most valuable thing you have. Spend it on what is actually worth finishing. If you are still watching, I appreciate you. Drop a comment below telling me which of these 7 points hit you hardest. I genuinely want to know. 4. Doing things because you think you are supposed to. How much of your life is spent doing things out of a sense of obligation? And I do not mean the unpleasant realities that we have no control over, that we all have to push through in life at times. I am talking about the things that we do have control over, but convince ourselves that we do not, because we feel like we need to do them just to be polite or to be accepted. So you are in another family gathering you did not want to attend, another committee meeting you joined out of guilt, another favor for someone who never reciprocates. There is a difference between genuine kindness and people-pleasing. One comes from choice and healthy self-sacrifice. The other comes from resentful feelings of obligation related to fear. What can you focus on instead? Invest your energy in relationships and commitments where your presence is valued and reciprocated. Do things for others because you genuinely want to, or because you know it is the right thing to do and you are okay with that, not to earn love or approval. When you give from a place of choice instead of obligation, you will feel less stressed and resentful. And when you do give, you can give fully. 5. Needing to be right. Arguing endlessly online or in real life is one of the biggest wastes of energy there is. And by 50, you have hopefully learned that most people are not looking for truth. They are looking to win. And if you get pulled into that game, you will lose stressful hours trying to convince people who have already made up their minds. This is why I do not argue with people in the comments or in real life. And yes, there are things where the right answer matters, but so often we waste time on unimportant issues. What can you focus on instead? Value peace over being right. Channel that energy into actually learning and growing instead of defending your position in pointless debates. You can still have opinions and boundaries, but you do not have to debate your existence in every conversation. Learn to say you might be right, or just say nothing and move on. The moment you stop needing the last word, you reclaim your sanity. 6. Tolerating energy drains. And you know exactly who I am talking about. People who only call when they need something. Friends who turn every conversation back to themselves. Acquaintances who leave you feeling drained every single time you interact with them. These are not necessarily bad people. They are just expensive. And after 50, you realize you cannot afford them anymore. Every hour you spend with someone who depletes you is an hour you are not spending with people who energize you, or just spending time alone if that is what you prefer. Every conversation that leaves you exhausted is energy you could have invested in something that actually matters. What can you focus on instead? Invest your time and energy in relationships that are reciprocal, where you feel seen, valued, and energized instead of drained. You do not owe anyone your presence just because they are used to having it. It is not cruel to create distance from people who consistently take more than they give. Protect your energy like the finite resource it is. Spend it on people who appreciate it and give back. And before we get to number 7, if you have not subscribed yet, now is a great time. Hit that button and follow along. You will not regret it. 7. Expecting people to be different than they are. This is one of the last illusions to fall away in midlife. The belief that people will eventually become who we wish they were. They will not. And holding on to that fantasy keeps you stuck in disappointment and resentment. Now let me be clear. Having standards is not the problem. You absolutely should expect honesty, respect, effort, and reliability in your relationships. Those are not high expectations. They are the foundation of trust. But here is the distinction. It is one thing to expect certain behavior because it is part of a healthy relationship. It is another to keep expecting that behavior from someone who has consistently shown you they are not capable or willing to give it. Your expectation may be reasonable, but your insistence that this person will eventually rise to meet it is where you start losing yourself. When someone repeatedly shows you who they are, believe them. What can you focus on instead? Accept reality without bitterness. You cannot control how other people behave, only how you respond. See people as they are, not as you hope they will become. And that does not mean giving up on standards. It means recognizing the moment when holding on to hope turns into self-betrayal. Once you stop expecting people to become someone else, you are free to make an honest decision. Can I live with who this person actually is? Do I need to adjust my expectations? Or do I need to create distance? That is where peace begins. Not in changing them, but in reclaiming your clarity. Please like this video if any of this resonated with you. And if you have learned something similar in your own life, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. Tell me, which of these 7 things have you personally struggled with the most? Subscribe if you are trying to live a better second chapter. I really appreciate your time. Have a good day.